Hello, this is W9TVX, and today I'm going to talk about SDRStudio, which is an application that I've created to allow you to create a custom UI to work with a smart SDR and your Flex radios. I think the best way to show what this app is to give you a quick demo. And I should add, this is the first in a series of videos. This will be a brief introduction, and then I will go into more in depth into various aspects of the application in subsequent videos. The first thing that happens when you run the application is you get a connection dialog. So I'll connect to my 6400. And once I do, the application main window pops up. And this window is broken up into several parts. The top part is the menu bar. And then there's what's called the master slice selector. And we'll talk about this a little later on. And then this is called the launcher panel, the one with the plus button. And this is essentially where you will create UIs, assign them to buttons, and then you'll be able to launch that UI. Let me demonstrate. I'll create this plus button, and that will pop up the add launcher button dialog. So what we essentially are going to do here is create a button and assign some UI to it. This portion on the left here is where you can specify the attributes of the button, such as its name, the font, color, etc. And on the right here is the widget palette. The user widgets are custom widgets that you create. Obviously, we have none here because we haven't created any. And then there are library widgets which ship with the application. So what we'll do is we'll go to the library widgets, and these are, again, the widgets that ship with the application. And I created these widgets using SDRStudio. So let's see, let's go ahead and just pick the tune widget. What we'll do is by default, that becomes the name of the button. You can change it to whatever you want. And we'll make the button cyan in color and save it. So now you'll see this tune button in the launcher panel here. If I click on the tune button, what will happen is that widget will get instantiated, and I can move it around. And this particular widget, what it has a meter on the left-hand side, which is RF power, SWR, and you can also manipulate the ATU. So just to give you an example, I can set the tune power to 5, and I can click the tune button, and you'll see that the RF power is 5 watts, SWR or 4 watts, SWR is at 1.2, which is kind of what we're seeing here over here in Smart SDR. I'll turn off the tune. And then, by the way, I could also turn off the tune here in Smart SDR and vice versa. They're complementary to each other. If I click this button again, what will happen is that component will disappear. Well, now what happens if I want to add another button? Well, what I would go is I'd go into, where would I go? I would actually go into Edit and say Edit Launcher Buttons. I click the plus button, and I could create another button. How do we create a custom widget? Well, what you do is you create on a new custom widget, and that will launch the widget composer. And this is the area where you could create your own widgets. And the way it works is on the right-hand side, you have a bunch of components. And again, subsequent videos will go into these components that you can add to the widget. I'm going to do something super simple here so that we don't have this video become too long. And what I'll do is I'll have the SWR meter. And we'll call this new widget SWR. Oh, yes, and then we will save and close. And now we have SWR. And you can see by default it gets selected, and there's the SWR button name. And we'll make this button, I don't know, let's make it green. And so we'll save it. And now we have SWR. And if I click on that, oops, sorry, wrong one. I need to get out of edit mode first. So we'll go unedit. Now if I click on SWR, there's the SWR meter. And if I go into tune, I'm going to use Smart SDR for that. And I'm going to go into tune. And you'll see the SWR go to 1.22. And I can also, obviously launch the tune widget which we created before. And these are basically dock against each other, which is kind of cool. But anyway, that just gives you a rough idea of what you can do. Very, very brief overview. And then we'll dig into it a lot deeper in subsequent videos. Hope this is useful, at least gets you excited about what you could do and what you can create.